Let's see. The next topic is types of exceptions. Okay. In Java, we have two types of exceptions. In Java, we have two types of exceptions. One is predefined, predefined exceptions, and the second one is user defined exceptions. In Java, we have two types of exceptions. They are predefined exceptions and user defined exceptions. Let's explore these predefined exceptions. Predefined exceptions. Let's explore predefined exceptions. Okay. So, predefined exceptions. See, these predefined exceptions are those which are developed by the Sun microsystem, which are developed by the Sun microsystem, which are developed by the Sun microsystem. So when they are developing the Java application, at that time only they created these exceptions. Okay. Okay. So these exceptions, these predefined exceptions will comes with the JDK. So when you install JDK, by default, all these exceptions will be coming with it. Okay. Um, what are the different types of exceptions actually? The predefined exceptions which is given by the Java. There are a lot they have given. Okay. So namely, I'll be giving some exceptions. One is a number format exception, and we will be having the arithmetic exception. You'll be having the arithmetic exception, and you'll be having the array index out of bounds exception. Array index out of bounds exception. And we have wide variety of exceptions, like for example, uh, null pointer exception, and file not found exception. Like this, we have a lot of exceptions actually. Okay. So these are the exceptions. Not only this, there are so many exceptions are there. You will come to know different stages. Okay. So all these predefined exceptions is given by the Sun microsystem when they are developing the Java application. Okay. So let's see the hierarchy of exceptions. Let's see the hierarchy of the exceptions. Okay. So let's see the hierarchy of exception classes. So for every exception, the parent class is object. Okay. Under this object, we have a exception class throwable. This throwable is a parent to all exceptions. This throwable is parent to all exceptions. So a Java program can have a program can have an exception and an error as well. So error will be occurring at the compilation phase and runtime phase. The exceptions are occurring at runtime errors only. Sorry, let's come down. It's here. Okay, that's right. Okay, so this is an error. Throwable. We have two different child classes for throwable error and the exception. Okay, so these are the two different classes we have. This is exception. Okay. So you can take an example of error. It could be a syntax error. It could be a, stack overflow error, stack overflow error, stack overflow error. Okay. So there will be so many class that will be comes under class, not exceptions under stack flow overflow error. And I can say that data hard drive error. If the hard drive couldn't able to read it, you'll be throwing an exception. So it will be throwing an error like hard drive couldn't read the data, something like that. Exceptions, under the exceptions, we have different types again. So in exceptions, again, we have two types. They are, they are runtime, then they are checked exceptions, unchecked exceptions. We'll see the checked and checked exceptions. What is checked exception? What is unchecked exception? Okay. And here we have checked exceptions, and here we have unchecked exceptions. Okay. So we come down. It's very difficult to draw the chart through Notepad. So one is, let me write unchecked exception, unchecked exception. And the other one is check exception, check exception. So examples of unchecked exception, they are like yeah, unchecked exceptions which are comes under the runtime exception, which we haven't handled. Okay, so could be runtime exceptions. Check unchecked exceptions are runtime exceptions. Just observe it what I'm writing, and unchecked exceptions are runtime exceptions. Unchecked exceptions are exceptions, which is nothing but exception, normal exceptions, which is like which all comes under the file not found exception, class not found exception, input output exception. If your input output, if you are not able to read the data, if you are not able to read the file, you'll be getting this file not found exception, file not found exception. And if you're trying to get a class, but the class is not found, so you'll be getting the class not found exception, class not found exception. And over here, runtime exception. In runtime exception, examples of runtime exception is, I already discussed the arithmetic exception. Okay, sorry. Okay, let me come here. Arithmetic exception, number format exception, number format exception. Okay, these are some of the examples of the exception. Okay. Okay. See, this is the hierarchy of exception class. Okay, the topmost for all the exceptions, throwable is the parent. Okay, under this parent we have a error is a child, and we have exception is also one of the child. Okay, so under the exception, okay, so we will be having checked and checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions. Okay, so under checked exceptions will be we will be like under the checked exceptions we have a exception. Okay, so which is occurring, like checked exceptions will be occurring if there is physically, if you are trying to find out one thing but it is not available, at that time you will be getting the checked exceptions. For example, file not found exception, class not found exception. Okay, IO exceptions. So when you are running the when you are using files, you will be getting this kind of IO exception. Okay, unchecked exceptions. Unchecked exceptions are called runtime exceptions. See, runtime exceptions are those which are occurring at the when you are running the application. Okay, okay. So arithmetic exception is the one of the runtime exception. See, if a user is entering the denominator as 0, okay, numerator as 0 and denominator as some number, at that time you will be getting this arithmetic exception. Number format exception, if you are expecting a string but you are passing if you are expecting to pass the string as a parameter but you are passing integer, at that time you will be getting this number format exception. Okay, or if you are expecting a integer, you are passing string, at that time also you will be getting this number format exception. Not only this, if you are if you are expecting let's say long and you are passing double, so at that time also you'll be getting this number format exception. Okay. Okay. Again, so we'll stop it over here. So we have seen the hierarchy of exception. Okay, so in the hierarchy, throwable is the parent for all the exceptions. For all these exceptions, throwable is the parent, and we have two child classes. They are error and the exception. So error will occur like if there is a overflow in the data, like mostly it'll be like when you're trying to crash the JVM, you'll be getting this stack overflow kind of a message, actually error message. And if there are driver hardware problems are there, software hardware problems are there, disk problems are there, you will be getting these exceptions. Okay. Fine. So let's stop it over here. Let's discuss the predefined exceptions. Okay, again. So let's discuss the predefined exceptions. Yeah, let's discuss the predefined exceptions in the next video. Okay, that's all.